So
also, we're the best podcast.
I got fucked the other day.
Brag about it.
Yeah.
I
Shout out
got
to
held
Esther.
hostage. Thanks. I got held hostage by technology and social media in the worst way imaginable.
Okay.
So I'm going to be moving soon. So I had to get a storage unit. And I had to take a bunch of shit and put it in the storage unit temporarily.
Barbara's
I
dead.
go there, they're sold out. They wouldn't have any availability. Fine. Where's the next closest
By the
one?
way, open one of those businesses.
Yeah, no kidding. So I like all the ones near me are sold out. So I have to go to one like way on the other side of town. I get there, I'm signing up. This fucking paperwork takes forever. I just want to rent a room, right? Like, here's my money. Give me the room.
Not even a room, a garage.
It takes forever.
Yeah.
I'm finally done with all of that. And the guy who's helping me is like, oh, hey, by the way, do you have your mobile phone on you? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, do you mind doing a quick survey for me? I was like, oh, fuck. Okay, fine, whatever. So I pull out my phone.
Wait.
Why would you agree?
Because I'm just trying to get out of there, right? I'm just like, sure,
That's not going to
whatever.
get you out. That's no is getting you out of there immediately.
Yeah,
No.
right. But it
Also,
gets-
who doesn't have a mobile phone? Do you
That's why
even
it's-
call it that anymore?
It's a loaded question. So I'm like, sure, whatever. How do I do this? He goes, open up Google Maps. And I'm like, what? He's like, I'm like, okay. He's like, just type our address in there. I'm like, okay. He's like, there, you just click on our storage place. He's like, okay, and you scroll down, you see just rate it 1 to 5 stars. Like, oh, great. He wants me to fucking rate it on Google.
Right in front of him?
Yeah, and he's like over my shoulder looking at me.
Yeah, bullshit.
Like, all right, fine. 5 stars. Good job, buddy. He's like, okay.
You did it?
Yeah, and then like a text field opens up. He's like, now just write something personal about your experience with me in that box. I'm like, what? And I'm
The
like,
guy
okay,
made me do this.
Joe was awesome. Published. He's like, okay, great. I was like, all right, fine, bye. I walked out the door. As soon as I walk out the door, I deleted it.
Okay, I couldn't imagine that right now there's a review out there of you where you have like
was
your
awesome.
face.
Chapter 2.
Part 2.
So the next day I come back.
Oh,
I imagine it's the equivalent of a waiter like gobbing in your food. There's just like a little pile of spit in his storage unit where the guy just
The next
gobbed
day
in
I
it.
come back, and in order to use like their push carts, you have to like leave your ID at the front desk.
Oh, no.
And that same dude, Joe, is working there, and there's another dude who's also working there. And so I go to the other dude who I didn't deal
I
with the day
bet you
before.
did.
And I'm like, hey, can I get one of those carts? He's like, yeah, sure, here you go. Go unload all my shit, come back to drop the cart off and get my ID. He gives me my ID. He goes, oh, hey, by the way, Mr. Sorolla, I want to tell you something weird that happened. I was like, what happened? He goes, I went and I looked for your review on Google earlier today, and I couldn't find it.
oh boy.
Oh my
And I
god.
was like,
This is Joe or the other
this
guy?
is the other guy.
Really?
And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Joe watched me put it on there. He's like,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Why don't you let me watch you do it again?
No, you.
Yeah, so then again, I scroll down, 5 stars. I typed the exact same thing. Joe was great. He goes, oh, but I'm helping you now too, so you got to write something about me too.
You're getting bullied at this point.
What?
Paying money.
What is going on? So I have to write something nice about this other guy now too.
No, you don't. That's the whole point.
So then I went home and I brought everything. I just did it all at once. I loaded everything. And I was like, all right, I don't need the cart anymore. Deleted it. I was like, I'm
my
never
God.
going back there.
But
I
your
can
stuff's
never let this
there.
guy.
Yeah, you have to go
Your
back
stuff
there.
is there.
I don't know. I'll deal with that as future Gus's problem. Because present Gus is like up shit creek.
If you
the
pay me
next-
$20, I'll go for you.
The next encounter with them, you don't have an answer. You can't be like, oh, weird, I did it.
Yeah.
And wait again. It disappeared again.
I now want to go rent a storage unit at that place so that when they tell me to do it, I'll just go 1 star. What else? Just write something personal. The dude's a cunt. And just post it. I want to rent a storage unit just to do that. Because then they can't make me delete it.
Right.
There's nothing they can do.
The weird part was when I was looking for this place before I drove up there. It wasn't a part town I normally go to, so I put the address in Google Maps on my phone, and when it pops up, I was like, wow, 4.91 stars, 120 reviews. This place must be awesome. And as soon as they made me do that, I was like, oh well, this
They
fucking
force
explains it.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have to just like.
You're not
how
like,
short can I say
what's a
this?
shorter way to say because of?
Yeah. And then when you've then when you've gotten rid of all the words you can get rid of, you're like, where am I going to make this illiterate? Like, which piece of punctuation or grammar will I remove now?
It's like, oh shit, I still have
so
to add
true.
the picture link.
Am I going to replace TO with the number 2?
It's so true.
It's like if you're a surgeon working on a human, you're like, how many of these parts can I take out before this isn't a human anymore? Like appendix, spleen.
Well, did we talk once about how, like, what the bare minimum human would be?
I don't think so.
It'd be interesting. Like, just
Like what?
stripped out, like, just basic human. What would it be?
Like we
I
put
feel
you on
like-
the operating table and we took out as many parts as we could.
Yeah, so obviously start with the crap.
I
Like,
thought we talked about this. Like, where are you in your
appendix,
body?
get rid of-
Like, where are you? Or is it that
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
thing?
It's like, what is the bare
well,
minimum
okay,
for a
so
human?
I get rid of your appendix.
heart,
I get rid of
brain.
your tonsils.
Don't eat them.
Then we're
See
talking
it.
about, like, I can get rid of a kidney and a lung. You'd still be
Arms?
all right. Yeah.
Arms and
So you
legs.
think-
You don't
Is a
need arms
func-
to be a human. You saying some dude with no arms walking down the street isn't a human?
I'm talking about just to function normally still.
I had. Okay. I'm
Look,
just
look,
saying
look.
you can function
There's
normally.
a learning curve
No,
to be
you
had
can't.
when you lose an arm.
Normal's a word that means something.
You can function with no arms.
It's not disrespectful for one-armed people.
I'm just saying. I
The
think
term
you can
normal, we're
function.
talking about the
You're not-
mathematical term within the norm. For somebody with missing both arms, that's not a normal condition for a human. That is.
Someone missing a
physically.
kidney is not a normal condition for a
That's
human
true.
either.
It's also true. It's
Fucking split hairs with me.
It is not normal to be missing a kidney.
Yeah, I guess I was just talking about internal then. But yeah, you could get rid of a lot.
You get rid of the appendix and one kidney.
just
You pretty
go-
much nailed it.
No. Appendix, kidney, lung.
How about one eye? Is that okay?
Why is that funny?
He's getting rid of all the double stuff. And the one thing that doesn't count.
One eye, one
and then
ear.
all the double stuff.
I guess you're right about the eye.
Why is that funny?
Because you're getting rid of depth perception. With a lung gone,
You can fill in a
still
nostril.
breathe. You can still breathe. You may not be able to run
you
as
can
far
still
anymore.
see.
You kind of need two eyes.
That
Nah.
dude I talked about in the plane crash the other day. The pilot had one eye. He landed it. He landed in the fucking field or in a levee.
I thought you're not allowed to fly unless you have 20/20 vision.
He did when he took off. Didn't he?
Then when he landed,
I
he just
think-
had 20 vision.
I think that's in the military.
Wait, what happened to this guy?
This guy, he,
Wait, I don't know the story.
he didn't lose an eye in the flight.
Okay.
He already had one eye,
He
but
did.
he lost an eye in a previous flight. He
thought-
was in Honduras flying small planes, and there was a civil war going on at the time. And during a takeoff once, someone was shooting at the plane and like shot along his cheekbone and shot his eye out.
Fuck.
On
Like
takeoff.
the
Lucky,
eyeball
dude.
went.
Yeah.
Like-
And so he took off and had to find another place to land and landed. And
He
So
managed
he's
to
exactly
land.
what
yeah,
she
he managed
said.
to land. And then he
What's his
continued his
story?
flight career. And then later, he was flying a brand new 737 from South America up to the U.S. And on
Yeah.
the way, both engines went out. He managed to land the plane on a levee. No deaths.
So he crashed twice.
No, he didn't crash.
He didn't
twice.
crash the first time. He just lost an eye. He got shot at, lost an eye, and landed.
I want this guy to be
What's the
pilot.
story then? Why is him having one eye relevant
know
to
what
the
Because I'm
story?
saying it's a normal person with no depth perception. He's saying that someone with only one eye cannot function.
But why was it relevant to your story that the guy only had one eye to
telling
begin
a story.
with?
Because I asked-
Because when I told that story the first time, Gavin said it was amazing he could land the plane because the guy had no depth perception. And I'm saying that even without depth perception, you can still be normal and do things.
Okay, listen, you tell that story. You don't need the most recent version because you literally said he didn't lose his eye in a flight. He lost another flight. And then you tell that story. That's also
She
a
was
guy
asking.
I wanted to hear about
She
it.
was asking.
But I'm saying just tell that story because he was also in a plane where he went from two eyes to one eye and he had to land that plane too. That's enough of that story.
I enjoyed both stories.
Thank you, Barbara.
It's too many stories.
I'm glad I told
It's too
the
many
person who
stories.
asked for the story.
Isn't that like telling a story about someone and then telling a story that they did after that's completely irrelevant?
Exactly right.
Whatever. Did I ever tell you about my?
Fair play.
It's like the girl who like went surfing and the shark bit off her arm. Every time she went surfing after that, she went surfing with one arm. It's the one time when the shark bit her arm. That's the relevant story.
No, but the second story, his engines went out. You said.
Right. The second
And he
story is
still
still one
managed-
story.
pilot lands plane with no engine.
There was this
That's
amazing story.
I've heard that story 1,000
There was
times.
an amazing story
Person
about a
goes swimming with
girl.
one arm.
There's
Heard
an,
it.
there's an amazing story about a girl who lost an arm surfing. She caught this gnarly wave while she was surfing, but that wasn't the time she lost the arm.
Exactly.
Is that the same as what we just had a
Did I
conversation
ever
about?
tell you about my teacher in high school? She had one lazy eye and one glass eye.
But what did she do the lesson before that?
Barb,
the fuck up.
How is it a lazy eye if it's... What does that mean? That's her one eye that works. The other one just doesn't follow it. It doesn't make this one lazy. It
No,
just,
but one
She said
would
she had
be
a glass eye and a lazy
one's
eye.
a glass eye and one's a lazy eye. So her eyes would just be like
Well, no.
I mean, she's
The
looking in
ones-
that direction. It doesn't mean this eye is lazy. It means
she'd be looking right at you, and both of her eyes would be pointing on either side.
Well, one eye has
It's
to
possible
go.
to have a lazy eye and have it be your only one
Yeah,
eye.
but you can't see out of the angle of your eye if it's wrong, can you? Like,
see,
if I
like,
look over
peripheral.
there, if I look there, I can't see you right
What
now.
do you-
Look
what
at Barbara, I can see you.
Yeah, but not
What is the
clearly, you know?
definition of a lazy eye to you? What is the definition?
Everyone that Dan likes.
No, that's cross-eyed.
What's the definition of a lazy eye to you?
It's just an eye that doesn't look directly at what you're trying to focus on.
Oh, that's how you say it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't look at what you're focusing on.
Right.
I would say a lazy eye is an eye that doesn't match the direction that your other eye is looking. That's what how I think of it. But she's got a glass eye. It's just eye.
It's
To
an
me,
eye that lives on a government
it
handout.
doesn't mean your eye's lazy. It means I'm looking this direction. You know what I mean? It
When
just
you
throws it
watch-
off by
It
this
sits on
one.
the couch and watches soap
Did you
operas all day.
play? Did you play guess the fake eye when you watch Columbo every time?
No, I never did that. I've never been able to notice like if somebody has a fake eye, like a glass eye.
They're just dead. They just don't. Just looking straight.
That was pretty good actually.
They
That
just
was
don't-
actually pretty good. Who's the most famous person that is? Does Columbo actually have a glass eye?
Yeah.
Sandy Duncan
is who I was
is the other
thinking of.
person I'm thinking about who had a glass eye.
Peter.
Fuck.
Yeah, he lost it really early, I think.
Say you're flying a
Cancer.
plane out of Honduras. Stick with me on
Do you
this.
have one eye or two?
You get. You have to start with 2. You get shot. You lose one eye. Then sometime in the future you land on a plane with no. That's not what this is about. You lose your eye. You land in the plane. You're fine. Do you get a glass eye or do you get an eye patch?
Eye patch.
You're gonna get a glass eye.
If you're a pilot, though, you get an eye patch. Because I feel like that's pretty badass.
You're a pilot with an eye patch. What do
Yeah.
you do?
I think it depends on the damage to the eye socket. Like if you've been
Totally normal.
If
It's
you've
all
been
the same.
Nick Furied, you want an iPad.
Was
We
it?
got to get this picture up on the screen. It's pretty damn easy to tell which is the fake eye.
Is
Which
it
one's
though?
the fake eye?
One of them just is a blank stare. If you cover one eye, it's like, oh, a normal guy. And then you cover the other one, it's like,
What if he's just looking to the side?
No, he is looking to the side. Are you kidding me?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. We have a
What?
picture Columbo.
You think his left eye is the glass
Our
one?
left or his left?
His
His
left.
left. See, this is why she thinks her teacher had a lazy eye, because one eye would look in the wrong direction. That's just the direction he's looking. That's my point.
No, but she'd be staring right at you. And
Nah.
her eyes would be on either side. Leave me alone.
You'd see in the middle.
You had to choose between being blind or
Being
being
blind.
deaf.
I wouldn't. That'd be a tough choice.
If you had, I would choose being deaf.
I'd choose being deaf.
Yeah.
This is a stupid question.
What am I
No,
listening?
if you
What am I
had to
listening to?
choose.
You guys? Come
There
on,
would
let's
be
be honest.
no situation ever where you would have to choose.
That's why it's a
That's
hypothetical
why it's a
question.
hypothetical.
What's
The
the point
king of
it?
hypothetical.
hypothetical
The king
questions.
of hypothetical questions.
Well, at least mine are realistic.
What if your legs
What?
didn't know they were legs?
Well, no one's going to cut your hearing out, are they? What are they going to do? Just like pop your eardrums?
Yeah.
Why?
That's exactly what they
This is a
do.
hypothetical question.
You ask so many goddamn hypothetical
Yeah, but they
questions.
could happen. You're never going to be in a room tied to a chair, and they're like, oh, one of them's going in your eye or your ear.
Sure,
Which
maybe
one?
there is. Let's say there's a guy with a knife, and he says, "I could poke
Gavin.
your ears out or your eyes."
Gavin, they could really happen. You asked me a question once. If I could be given $10 million, but every time I spent the money, a guy stuck his thumb up my butt for 10 seconds. That was your hypothetical. That's one of your hypotheticals that you came up with.
Well, that's not illegal.
I like how it went from it couldn't happen to it's not
It's
legal.
not legal.
It's totally legal.
See, my
Wait, no,
hypo-
actually, sodomy is illegal.
Thumb in the ass is illegal.
Illegal in the state of Texas, I believe.
Was that sodomy?
Yeehaw.
I think so.
I need a lawyer.
What? My favorite hypothetical question also was impossible. But it was a really good one.
Which one
Do you want
was
to hear
it?
it?
What was it?
Did I tell on the podcast already? Might have been a Let's Build or something. Your wife and your mother,
Your wife.
they're side by side. Their minds switch bodies.
Oh, I love this.
Oh,
question.
totally plausible.
But
Totally plausible.
you could just stay and live with them like this. Like you'll be living with Esther in your mum's body, I guess. But you can return them to normal state. You just have to sleep with one of them. But do you sleep with your mum inside Esther? Or do you sleep with Esther inside your mum's body?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I don't like hypothetical
What would
questions.
you choose? What would you choose, Gavin?
I just commit suicide.
No, it's super easy. Super easy. Super easy.
Three-way?
Nope. You knock out your wife.
Right, so it's rape.
No, you just punch. You tell him I'm punching you. I'm gonna knock you out. We'll fix the situation.
Wait, who are you punching?
I'm punching my wife with the mother in it.
So you're punching your mother's body in the face?
No, I'm punching my wife.
With the mother in the head.
If I'm Gus, I'm punching Esther in the face, knocking my mom out, and then I'm sleeping with my wife, with my mother inside. Not.
I got confused with that one.
No, it's but
It was like your mother, but you were punching Esther for some reason?
Well,
no.
just give an
I'm saying if I'm
example.
Gus. I'm saying if I'm Gus.
No, I got you. That's a good answer.
Yeah. Then everybody's fine. And Esther's got to go to a movie for a while. Like just go to a movie.
Yeah.
So
she was out of the
you're
house.
fine having sex with your sleeping mother inside Esther's body.
Look, this is it's a drastic
Sleeping.
situation. It's a drastic situation. According with that,
I know what
and there was a
you're
conference call in my office, and there's right across the hall is a conference room, and I was supposed to be in there for an RTX conference call, and I was just walking back and forth and keeping the conversation going, and then I noticed that of course it's like this, but just going back and forth between two meetings, the guys were doing most of the talking on the speakerphones. The one guy at the studio and one guy at this company we were talking to in the other room. And I noticed when I went back and forth, they sounded the exact same. It was all like, Okay, so we were looking at this thing, and if you guys want to look at like page 2 here, we were talking about this, we were wanted this, and I was like, Gavin, you got to come over here next door. And then we walk out, and it's like, so we're gonna have you guys there. We'll go over things. It'll be like a dress rehearsal. Walk out, and it's like, and then we'll get RTX for exhibition floor. It sounded like the same guy.
Just faded down. It's like, so we're gonna get you guys there at 3, and then after that we'll be like, it's like the same different conversation.
Every
Gavin
man.
immediately knew what I was like. I was like, come here, listen. And Gavin walked in the room and just started laughing because it sounded like the exact same guy.
I burst out laughing, and then I had to stand right in the middle, so I wasn't laughing in either of the conference calls. Ever I've been on a conference call, especially here, the amount of times that we will mute it and then just be like, I wonder how often they're doing that on the other side. Like,
we don't. What are you talking about? When have we ever done
I
that?
have never done that. That is extremely unpevessional and unbecoming
like
of a
someone will
business
say
professional.
something dumb or like completely obvious. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, absolutely.
I have
Do you
no
not do
idea.
that?
I've been on calls before where you're with somebody. It's
feel
usually
like-
when it's one of you guys.
I feel like every slow-mo
fuck is
guy's
he talking
conference
about?
call is just the biggest waste of time ever.
So happy for them, and he looks so happy. It made me
Anyway,
emotional.
Michael hates.
I'm sorry, I'm friends with Michael.
Michael hates Gavin's ringtone, which is that.
If you're gonna do it, put some effort into it.
Is it,
I thought that was pretty good,
This is how I
actually.
know how-
You've really got to make it hit. It's got to be like, it's gonna be like piercing.
That's it.
Yeah, but so I had in my text. At the beginning of the wedding, I showed it to Ryan. Get the next to Ryan. I go, don't forget to turn off your phone. And I was waiting for is there anyone who objects to this union? I was waiting on that. But I was like, and then I was like, Ashley's texting me. She goes, if you fucking send that, she was like, do not do that. So I actually waited all the way until the whole thing was over, and they were coming out, and I sent it, and nope, he had his phone off.
You went for it.
Completely off.
I think I checked to see if my phone was on silent about 10 times before I walked down the stairs. And in the end, I just turned my phone completely off. I was like, I might knock it, or it might flash through my pocket. So I just turned the hell.
Gavin doesn't respect the wedding because doesn't just like
I'm
you're
not,
emotionless.
I'm not a fan of tradition.
Emotionless.
And like all the weird stuff.
Monty is too busy to care. Monty's like, he's there and he's thinking about other stuff. It's like, Monty, if I'm Monty, I'm like, okay, I'm at a wedding, but okay, I gotta go to work at some point, so I'm gonna go. And he just doesn't care, so he's not paying attention to stuff like that. So we're eating appetizers and before, well, you guys are outside taking pictures. And Monty's like, where are they? And I said, they're outside taking pictures. Monty's like, what, they didn't take pictures before? It's like, no, because the bride and groom couldn't see each other. He goes, meh. So, and then we're sitting there, and we're just chit-chatting with Monty. And I look over and I see the cake, and I go, hey, Monty, want a piece of cake? And he goes, yeah, what kind of cake is it? I go, I don't know. He goes, I go, just get a piece. I go, get me a piece when you get one too. He goes, okay. Sheena goes, what are you
No.
doing? He took a full step towards the cake, and I was like,
He was going to cut a wedding
I was
cake.
like, oh my god, this is gonna be the greatest moment of my life if Monty starts cutting the cake before they even get inside.
That would have been a meltdown.
Oh my god.
But if
You are the
Monty,
worst.
If it's Monty, it would have been really funny.
Why?
Because look, I mean,
be
they had a
dropping him
wedding
in it.
and they cut the cake, and
Why
that's
would
like.
just be sitting there eating the cake?
Oh, also, I don't think he'd be sorry, would he? Like, Lindsay would be like, what? He'd be like, I mean,
It's cake.
it's cake. I was going to eat it anyway.
Want a piece of cake? So I almost got Monty to cut the cake. I was that close to getting Monty to cut the cake. No.
Especially if you cut right in the front of it.
You're
This
a
is
terrible
why-
person.
Cena ruined all the fun, man.
This is why I don't want to get married in front of anyone I know. I would just go away somewhere, do it secretly.
if I got Monty to cut your cake before and you came in for pictures and Monty's eating your wedding cake,
I wouldn't
you would
care.
think that was funny.
I wouldn't give it a toss.
You
Yeah.
have a fun wedding.
The problem is
Do it.
you would probably be marrying someone who does care.
Exactly.
That
why
was
the
it.
wedding is going to
Right.
be
I
half
never-
a thing of all her family and then me and maybe like a couple of people on my
All
side.
of those things, I didn't think once about Michael. I was like, I can't do this. I can't let this be mean to do to Lindsay. Listen, I got a lot of respect for people that work here. One of the people I have the most amount of respect for the amount of work he does and how awesome he is Miles. That is the loudest motherfucker on the planet. He is the loudest person
He has
I've ever
the
met in my
loudest
life.
voice.
Like, he comes over for Game of Thrones night at my house. It's Sunday at 10 o'clock at night. Holy shit, dude. I might as well invite over, like, a tornado siren. Like, that and invited to tornado siren. Do you want a hot dog? It's the same exact thing. Miles is the loudest motherfucker on the planet.
But he isn't though.
He is. Is
But,
he
like,
loud?
Yes.
Talking
He's
to
loud.
him normally, like a normal conversation,
No.
is normal.
He's loud in social situations.
He escalates. And
He-
you can it's
he
like
has
someone
a
just
loud,
goes,
He has a
"Whoop."
loud laugh.
Yep.
He like the thing about
It's
Miles's
awesome,
laugh He has a great laugh. But every time I hear his laugh, I think, I haven't laughed like that in years. It's like every single day, 3 times a day, the funniest thing in the world happens to Miles. And I just wish I was...
You laugh all the time.
Yeah, but it's not like a booming laugh of amazement.
It's funny because I always know people's like laughs, like everyone's different laugh. Your laugh, I know when you're really laughing, you rock like this when you laugh. Yeah, you go. You have your fucking phone in your hands too for whatever reason, but you're always laughing about something.
I laugh. I've always laughed kind of quietly.
It's that British.
Like, when I'm laughing the most, I'm just like creased up, silent.
Yeah, you look like this kind of when you're laughing.
And I can't say
The
anything
ruder
because
something
I'm
is too,
laughing
you
so
will
hard.
laugh the hardest. That's like cut through anything.
The what?
Like a rude or offensive joke, that will always make you laugh.
You know when Gavin laughs is when he whispers mean things to me right before the podcast.
Oh, really?
I like to be fake mean to Barbara because it actually
Fake
affects
mean?
her. Yeah.
Sounds like real mean to me.
He'll like call me names and
Yeah,
stuff.
I'll be like, I really don't like you at all. I pretend to, but I just hate you. I don't really say it.
Right before you go on.
But that's not to say when I'm laughing audibly, I'm not faking it. I'm just when I'm laughing hardest, I can't make any sound.